Errol Spence keeps it all the way a buck when talking about Derrick James. And we all want to know, is he training back with Derrick James or does he have a new trainer? We're going to talk about all of that in this video and more. But before we do that, make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook on it. So we finally got to hear from the truth, Errol Spence. Of course, he got to do his job. And, he got to help promote his fighter, Frank Martin, that's going into the biggest fight of his career with Gervonta Davis. I can't wait till this fight on June the 15th because I know Frank Martin, he not going to lay down like a lot of these fighters that get in the ring with Tank. They just coming in there for a payday. Frank Martin, he coming in there to get the W by any means necessary, and I like how confident Frank Martin looks. Now, it could be a different story come June the 15th when he got to get in the ring, but right now, Frank Martin look like he's in a good space. He look like that he's very, very confident, focused, and his mental is right, and that's some of the main things that you need going into a fight of this magnitude. Now, when it comes to Errol Spence, his promoter, man, Errol Spence, he also seems more than confident in his fighter, Frank Martin, coming out with the victory. A lot of times when I hear promoters and they guy is going up against Gervonta Davis, it's a whole bunch of ifs and we gonna try and Tank is this and Tank is that. And they kind of already sound like that they know they fighter is gonna go in there and get their ass kicked. But Errol Spence, he ain't coming like that. He coming like, hey, Gervonta Davis ain't never been in the ring with nobody like Frank Martin. Frank Martin ain't all these other guys that Tank been in the ring with. And he gonna find that out come June the 15th. So I like the way they talk. 80% of it is your mental and how you approach the fight. The rest of it is physical. So we gotta see what happened on June the 15th. But Errol the True Spence is what we want to hear about in this video. And that's what I'm finna give y'all. We all know that Errol Spence, man, he's had a lot of trials and tribulations ever since the fight between himself and Terrence Bud Crawford. We know how the fight went, so we don't got to get into that. But also, we found out that he had eye surgery, another eye surgery, and then months after that, we found out that him and Derrick James was at odds. He wasn't going to be training with Derrick James no more. And matter of fact, they took each other to court. We found out that Derrick James had like a $2 million lawsuit against Errol Spence claiming that he owed him money from the Terrence Bud Crawford fight. And so, man, it was just a mess. Now, as far as the lawsuit, I'm hearing things is looking good for Errol Spence. But today, we finally got a chance to hear from Errol Spence. And we finally got a chance to hear him mention Derrick James because we haven't got a chance to hear Errol Spence even mention Derrick James. But of course, he talked about Derrick James, man, and it don't seem like he have no ill feelings towards Derrick James. He said, look, man, Frank Martin, he got the best trainer in the world in Derrick James, and I know Derrick is going to have him ready. They're going to come up with the best game plan for Gervonta Davis. And that's one of the other reasons that Errol Spence says that he's confident Frank Martin is going to go out there and get the upset victory over Gervonta Davis. And like I said, man, he mentioned Derrick James a few times in this interview, and he could have skipped out on saying Derrick James' name, but he didn't do that. He showed love and gave Derrick props. But now people want to know what's going on with Errol Spence. And this is what he had to say about his comeback fight and who's going to be training him. So I'll let y'all hear what he had to say, and then we're going to come back and we're going to cook on it.
Errol, I know this has been an exciting year, obviously, with your fighter, Frank Martin. Do you have any news you want to share with us about what your future plans, or is we still got to wait to hear from you?
Yeah, you got to wait to hear from me. I'm looking for I'm looking for a coach right now. So yeah, I got a few names in the hat. I'm out, working with people and trying to see who I mesh with. And I have some news real soon. But I try to stay low as possible. So.
Oh, we know. We know, Errol, but we're excited. I can't wait for when you drop the news of your next fight night. You know, people are excited to see the big fish again.
So there it is. You heard EJ. He kept it a buck. He said, look, man, I still ain't got no trainer. I'm still weighing out my options. You know, I'm working with people, seeing who I gel with the best. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all like I always do. That's a red flag to me because he still ain't got no trainer. And if he looking to get in the ring against Sebastian Fundora in October or November, man, time flies. Errol Spence, man, I'm going to just keep it a buck, man. This is dangerous for him still to not have a trainer in October, November. Ain't that long. Especially to be working with a whole new trainer when you've been with the same trainer since you was like 15, 16 years old. All you pretty much know is Derrick James. So, you know, these other trainers that you go with or whoever you decide to go with, they're not going to have the same style of training like Derrick James. And this is late in your career, so you definitely can't have a trainer that's going to try to, you know, have you train different from what you used to or implement new things. Like, it's too late for all of that. You talking about October, November, man, that's another year and a half out of the ring. That's a whole nother year and a half out of the ring once you step in the ring. And we know how PBC does. If they tell you it's October or November, it's probably going to be towards the first of the year. It's probably going to be January, February. And I'm just saying that because if you look at the history, when, especially with Errol Spence, when he tells you that he's looking to be back in the ring and, you know, let's say he say November, it's usually not until like a April or June or July. So, I mean, if he's saying October or November, don't be surprised if this gets pushed out all the way to 2025. And, you know, that's just the worst case scenario, but we've seen it time and time again. Now, I'm rocking with EJ regardless, but we got to be realistic about the situation. You know, I wish that he had to just went and settled his differences with Derrick James. You know, him and Derrick, they both real stubborn, so that probably ain't gonna happen. But I like how he did show Derrick James love when he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? He could have just been like, oh, his trainer, you know, the trainer he got. But nah, he said Derrick James' name and he let it be known, like, hey, you know, hey, I ain't got no trainer right now, so I still got to get that issue fixed. A lot of people were saying that he needs to go with Bozy Ennis. And Bozy Ennis was saying that I would love to train Errol Spence. And I like that. But it's two problems with Bozy Ennis and Errol Spence training together, right? One is Jaron Boots Ennis. Jaron Ennis, he been letting the world know that, yeah, I want Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. So I don't think that'll work out. Even though right now they're in two different weight classes because EJ has moved up to 154 where Bud is at. But Ennis, man, he can move up anytime and he let it be known, man. Right now I could fight at 147, 154, 160. I can even go all the way to 168. It don't matter. So I think that would be a conflict of interest. And another big problem is, and to me, the biggest problem is they train in Philly. And we know Errol Spence, man, he not leaving them babies. EJ is not leaving to go off for no 3-month training camp and leaving his babies behind, man. EJ, he gonna be in Dallas. I don't see EJ leaving Dallas. You know, as far as he might go, might be Houston with Ronnie Shields, but I don't even know how that would work out. Especially if the kid's gonna be in school and everything. You know, EJ, man, he's a real dad. He be with his kids every day, so I don't see him taking up no trainer outside of Dallas. So with that being said, whoever trains him is probably gonna be a trainer in Dallas that don't really have a big name. It's a few trainers that I would like to see him with. Like I said, one is Bozy Ennis, but we already ran down that. Another one, a great trainer, is Robert Garcia. I like him. And you got a few other trainers out there, but you know, hey, we got to wait and see. But at least he kept it real, and at least we got an update. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know how I do. Diego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
Shoot a bullet and it fall to the ground with your heat drop. Ain't no competition we got. Better duck when I ride, punch line like a T5. Give me hard in the treetop.